Live with exclusive coverage, the images, the videos of the fire at the chemical plant in Venezuela. That's right, folks, we've got it. We've got it. What happened that night, what happened in that fire that the whole world is talking about right now here on Military Strategies, exclusively tonight for the entire Hispanic community. All the details, everything that happened, don't miss it. Your go-to channel for information, your likes, your comments. Let's get started. Oh! Family, good evening. Welcome to Military Strategies Breaking News. We have the images, we have the videos again.
New statement from the company involved in the Maracay fire. This is Military Strategies. We work magic. We make things look easy. Welcome to Military Strategies. Thank you for joining us live. There's global discussion and debate. What exactly happened? Yes, the United States has carried out a ground operation in Venezuela. Bang, bang, boom. We could say, let's look at the images, let's watch the videos, let's see everything that's happening, everything that's going on. And also right now, there is a person traveling to Venezuela. Live right now. Fly Raider Black Cat 6, the Black Cat 6.
Jeez.
Are there differences in the call signs when it's Black Cat 5 and Black Cat 6? But I'll explain that at another time. So you understand what kind of mission is being carried out. And what the difference is. All of this in Military Strategies, also exclusively explaining a bit how the whole story of the Black Cats works, that when they appeared later, there are oil tankers that end up arriving in Texas. You already know what I mean. Family, I can tell you it's exhausting. Not even with Israel had I ever been so tired from the work we're doing every day. I really want to thank you 100% for everything you do with us. For everything you do for this community, all the support you give it. Growing more every day, today we've reached precisely 376,000. Thank you so much, really. Subscribe if you haven't already. Amazing things are going to happen. Incredible things are going to happen, so you have to be here. Without a doubt, I think this is one of the channels. Not the best because no one here is better than anyone else, but definitely one of the channels that puts the most energy, interest, and passion into informing and telling things as they really are. We're not adding more or taking away less. Donald Trump came out again today when asked by the press, confirming that yes, there has been a ground operation in a place in Venezuela, close to where the boats are loaded with illegal substances, and that it had been quite large. During these last hours, we saw pictures of Black Cat. Where's he headed? I imagine he's gonna do what he does every night. He'll come in later through the area of Cuba, Dominican Republic. Is he going to come in through there or maybe through the Puerto Rico area? Let's use the filter to clean it up. He may enter through Puerto Rico. The usual route is toward the Caribbean Sea. And these types of flights, or these flights we see, are intelligence flights to gather intelligence, so we'll be keeping an eye on this matter. We'll leave it there while I tell you a bit more. I was saying that we're not going to add more or less. There's a lot of talk about this. Donald Trump came out again today to say we've carried out a ground operation, Venezuela. He didn't say bombed or launched cruise missiles. There hasn't been an official statement from the Secretary of War like there was with Nigeria. There hasn't been any declassified information or any video. However, just a little while ago, a video of another drug boat being sunk was declassified. We're not going to show it anymore because it's more of the same. And of course, this only leaves us with the option that it was a covert CIA operation, targeting something that still hasn't been confirmed. Let me insist on this. Was there a fire on the dates that Donald Trump mentioned? That's true, but we still lack confirmation it was the plant ad. Maracay, the plant we were looking at from this chemical products company, Primazol. I'm going to explain a couple of things to you, and I really mean it with all due respect to everyone. I rarely watch other channels' content and don't know what they're discussing. I've only seen the thumbnails and maybe a few minutes of some videos. I respect everyone. People can share this story however they want and in any version they choose. By the way, Black Cat 6 means that call sign is openly gathering intelligence. That is, it's gathering intelligence on a general level, not on a regional level. And another day, I'll explain what this is about and we'll get a little into how it's built. Military intelligence information to designate targets or to track targets. We'll do that another day since tonight will be intense. As I was saying, I'm exhausted. I'm going to try to do my best. Forgive me if I make any mistakes. We have, I insist, exclusive footage of the fire, and we're going to discuss a lot of things. In today's show, I want to make it clear that this isn't to disprove anyone or to say that anyone is lying. That's not my intention. I'm just going to give my analysis. That's what I do. And that's what we're doing. I don't mean by this, seriously, I don't want to accuse anyone of lying. All right. We know that the dates marked by Donald Trump are from the night of December 24th to the 25th, December 25th, because the interview takes place on the 26th. That's when he throws down the gauntlet. He disappears for practically half the world. Today, it's already on all the front pages worldwide. The United States has carried out a ground operation in Venezuela. The United States has attacked Venezuela. Venezuela is under attack. Nicolas Maduro and the regime remain silent. They don't say anything. They don't talk about this issue. And it's better for them, if it has happened, not to acknowledge it. To acknowledge it would obviously be a failure in security, air defense, and intelligence service. A catastrophic failure for a regime that is currently trying to project an image of being impenetrable. We are secure. The United States can't do anything. We are superior. This, which seems easy to understand, is actually very important and complex for the regime. If the regime shows weakness, it won't be able to convince everyone who are staying at home or who don't raise their voices against the regime out of fear. And it's very important for the regime not to appear weakened, so they will always hide it. They won't say anything. Yesterday, we were doing some work. I think it was pretty thorough, the show we did yesterday. If you didn't get a chance to see it, I urge you to watch it again. As we were scanning through the events that could have happened, that could have taken place in Maracaibo, in that warehouse, in the warehouse where supposedly Donald Trump says or comments that there could have been chemicals used or a laboratory. First of all, the company. Based on what I've found, I may be wrong, and if so, I apologize. I'm not doing it, I insist, to call anyone a liar. The company Primazol is an importer of chemical products and supplies. Chemicals. As far as I know, in Maracaibo, the facility that catches fire is not a laboratory. Maybe there's a clandestine laboratory. I don't doubt it. I'm not saying it's possible or not possible. Officially, it's a company devoted to importing chemical products globally, as I insist. Different types of products, some can obviously be used for or are associated with the manufacture of some illicit substances, and others are not. This needs to be made clear. Clearly, they won't advertise these products on their website, especially those closely related to sulfur, ethanol, alcohol, and very aggressive acids that are used in manufacturing. I can't give details, obviously due to
Eh,
the platform's terminology, which restricts certain topics. But it's true the company has knowledge and contacts. Does Venezuela import products that come from abroad? From countries like Russia, China, Qatar, Iran, and other places in the world? Thousands of companies do this here. The first thing we're going to do, because I think it's important, this is the third statement that Primazol has released just a few minutes ago to talk precisely about what happened. First of all, I think it's only fair to show the statement. I insist on that. I'm not saying this wasn't a target attacked by sabotage. New information we have. The 24th, 25th, and 26th. The facility was closed, meaning there were no workers, and there were no workers because it was a holiday. They were given vacation, so there was officially no activity at the facility. In fact, de facto, we see the statement here. Let's see what it says. Please pay close attention. I also want to see your comments in the chat. I want to know what you think about all this, because for me, I believe it's vital to reach the truth with honesty. Thank you, dear clients, business partners, and the community in general. We want to inform you that once the initial phase of the corresponding investigation was completed, Primazol PA is reporting clearly and transparently about the events related to the fire that occurred on December 24th at approximately 12 o'clock p.m. That is, it wasn't at 2 a.m. It wasn't at 1 a.m. It wasn't at 1:30 a.m. It was at 1:02 a.m. Right at the start of the 24th in one of our raw material warehouses. Again, it's mentioned as a warehouse, not a laboratory or processing area. It's a warehouse. Yesterday, we already saw some photos here that showed, and I said, it's a warehouse. And there are products that are highly flammable and can produce gases or even cause a small fire with devastating consequences. Now let's look again at the satellite image showing how the facility turned out. According to the results obtained, the fire started as a result of an electrical accident in the internal wiring system of our warehouse. Specifically in the area where resin was stored. Polyethylene terephthalate is plastic. It's like what is used for containers. Polyethylene terephthalate, a bottle, for example, can be made of polyethylene terephthalate. Although normally nowadays it's not used as much because of issues with products that are associated with or could harm human health, well, this condition caused the start of the fire, which spread quickly due to the location of the fire's origin at the back of the storage rack, which significantly hindered direct access to the source of the flames. We're talking about a localized source where the fire started and then spread from there. Let's continue. The security guard on duty, upon noticing the situation, immediately activated the emergency protocols and proceeded to notify the fire department of the municipality of San Francisco. He also contacted the rest of the company's operations team to provide support in the initial containment efforts. At the same time, our internal team activated the first response systems and used portable extinguishing equipment. However, the scale of the fire required specialized intervention from the San Francisco Fire Department firefighters. They arrived at the scene and carried out the corresponding extinguishing protocols. also having the support of other response and security agencies. Once completed, high-level investigations were carried out by the relevant authorities. The audiovisual material corresponding to our company's control and security recordings, with the aim of reinforcing our commitment to transparency. In the following segments, fragments of the real-time recording are presented. Additionally, a link to a digital repository has been enabled where all relevant recordings can be viewed in their entirety. From Primazol, we wish to express our most sincere and profound gratitude to the Fire Department, the Fire Department of the Municipality, Maracaibo Aeronautical Fire Dept, Civil Protection Directorate, and the San Francisco and Maracaibo Municipality Mayor's offices for the support, professionalism, and assistance provided during these last few days, which have been particularly challenging for our organization. Currently, we continue uninterrupted with the work of removing debris and clearing remaining materials, strictly following safety protocols and the instructions issued by the relevant authorities. Likewise, we reiterate to all our clients, suppliers, collaborators, and the general public that Primazol remains committed to fulfilling its commercial obligations, as well as its commitment to continue supplying raw materials to the various industries we serve. Primazol does not manufacture any specific products. Our company is dedicated to the import, storage, and distribution of raw materials for the industry. Any further updates will be communicated exclusively through our official channels. Sincerely, Primazol. That is the statement. It had to be read. It's clear that it had to be read. And it's clear they have a position. They have a way of seeing things. And now we're going to see videos. We're going to watch the videos. Let's see what happened here. Let's see if we got ahead. If maybe we have some people know if maybe we have gotten ahead of ourselves before. To confirm whether this is the place that has been attacked or not. Careful, I don't mean to say that the attack didn't happen. I don't mean to say that the attack didn't happen. What I mean by this is that maybe the attack could have happened somewhere else. And now we'll talk about this topic. Now we're going to look at different options and different ways to act in operations. Infiltration behind enemy lines for destruction, demolition, and sabotage. Obviously, the CIA or Special Operations Groups infiltrated in Venezuela have been able to work on this. The question isn't whether there are United States agents inside Venezuela. The question is where, when, how, and in what way they are carrying out these kinds of missions. And that's where I think the important part is. Let's go with it. Family. Footage that we now bring exclusively. We bring exclusive video here on military strategies. Let's see. According to the company, it is the one that broadcasts these images so that they can be published. We are live right now. December 30th, 2025, 3:18 in Spain. Whatever time it is in Venezuela, a few hours earlier. Let's see what happens and then we'll keep watching. I haven't seen them. This is going to be a live reaction. I also want your comments through the chat, please. They're super important right now. Breaking news in military strategies. Let's shed light on the darkness. At least let's see. Let's see what they want to show us or what they want to tell us. Let's see. First of all, what we're seeing is a man who's drinking. It's 12:25. Wednesday, December 24, 2025. It's probably the security staff that's left in the warehouse to keep watch. It's a 5-minute recording. It seems like nothing is happening right now. We see calmness in this operator. Right now, there doesn't seem to be any alarm. It's 12:25.
5.
Let's see what's happening around here. Let's go a little further. We're passing by at 12:26 now. It seems that nothing is happening there. First video. The security staff.
Yeah.
We don't see him alarmed. We don't see anything. He's possibly on the phone. And nothing happens there. We continue. Second video. Video number 2. Here we start to see the warehouse. We start to see that there is fire, upper right part. We see a rack, how it's burning. We zoom in on image 1257.
7.
Right now, looking at military strategies, how the fire is spreading. Again, camera showing 1258.
8.
The smoke is starting
10.
to spread through the facility. We see signs of flammable material on that rack. In that rack area. And we see how it is spreading. We don't see a person now. 2 people with a hose trying to put out the fire. We see 2 people acting, and we don't know if they are firefighters or not. But they're working to put out the fire. It's a quick response. We're still here with military strategies and live. It's strange. I'm going to tell you it's strange because then the fire seems to get out of control. They're trying to use some kind of extinguisher. It's likely not water, since water can be counterproductive with these substances. So there must surely be a tank. Or some kind of retardant so that the fire doesn't spread. The hose is also losing pressure. We're watching this live. I think we're the first channel right now that's seeing what happened in there. Once again, an exclusive, once again in military strategies. Please, your likes are super important. Let's all share the link to this live stream on Twitter right now. It's super important. What's going on here? We're continuing, right? It's already 1 in the morning. We see it keeps falling. Chemical product. It's special powder. There are different types of material to try to put out a fire. You can see that the operator or the operators who are there right now have just put down the hose. This second clip from camera number 12 lasts about 5 minutes. We're at minute 350. Let's see what else happens. Because, of course, at first it seems like the substance keeps falling from the upper area, but we can't see it, right? A fire? No, like at the beginning. Now we're going to go back to the beginning, don't worry. We keep watching. The smoke comes back again. Smoke has been seen coming out. 1 and 2 minutes past midnight. On the 24th.
True.
I don't know. Someone here is saying clickbait. This isn't clickbait. This is a security camera from the warehouse. I'm not doing clickbait. We're watching what happened. I'm sorry it's us doing this. If it bothers anyone. All right, this is the beginning. Again, we see the initial part, of course. We don't see, or at least we don't see it in this camera number 12, clip number 2. This is the beginning. You can see it's coming off. I think it's plastic burning. It's clear there. All right, let's keep going. How are we doing, family? It looks good, right? Please confirm in the chat that everything looks good. Confirm in the chat that we're seeing all of this, that everyone is understanding what we're seeing. We're seeing exclusive footage from the security cameras of Primazol of what happened on the 24th during the famous fire. And everyone is saying that it was an attack by the United States, etc. We are live right now. Clip number 3.
Yes.
Camera number 7.
Yeah.
We see drums. These drums. Today I was doing a reset of this type of drum. It's acid. The door opens.
Yeah.
The warehouse entry or loading bay door opens. We're still live, family.
Yeah.
Camera number 7, 12, and 49.
Muy bien.
What we're seeing now is another camera in the same time frame when it starts recording, or when they wanted to show us what was happening. Let's see. We don't see that there is an automated fire system. We've seen 2 workers trying to put out a fire. For now, we don't see anything. Here. I'm going to fast forward a little so we don't waste too much time if there's nothing noteworthy. We don't see any people. We don't see smoke. We've only seen that the door has opened.
Yeah.
We can also see this. This is definitely noteworthy. That there are many drums of flammable product in the facility. This is what I think leads to that fireball explosion we see. This door's probably opened for safety to allow evacuation of the building. I suppose that's the reason. Although, of course, by opening that door, oxygen is allowed in and the fire spreads even faster. But I don't know. I'm just talking, so don't take my word for it. Let's continue. Video number 4.
Oh.
We see the firefighters. Camera 12.
Yeah.
Stop here for a moment. I'm not saying that this video is real or not. I'm saying that this is the video provided by Primazol. Let's watch it, let's analyze it, and let's draw conclusions. Please, before giving a verdict, let's watch it. We see the firefighters deploying hoses. There's something I don't understand. At 1:35, that is, there's a gap from 1 o'clock ante-meridium until 1:35 when the firefighters arrive. So I don't know here. What happened in between? It doesn't seem like there's a huge fire like what we see. Later we'll see what else happens. I'm watching this live with you at 1:35. The size of the images of the fire outside was something gigantic. Let's go through what happens here step by step. Let's move the camera forward and skip ahead a bit more. We see that water has been used. The floor is wet. 1:37, camera 12.
See.
We see that more staff arrive at 1:38, more staff arrive at the warehouse. We see people running in quickly, they're moving, right? More firefighting teams. Large red fire extinguishers. That's what we see here. Let's zoom in. We can see that he's getting ready again to keep spraying more material against the fire, although we don't see any fire there anymore. It could be that it's being used as a preventive measure. We see a person with a rather large build. We see people dressed in civilian clothes. It doesn't seem like they're firefighters, or at least they're not. They're not wearing a firefighter's uniform. And they're trying again now to put it out. Now the camera jumps, that's good, right? This is the beginning. Excuse me. This is where the video ends, the video number 3 we're watching. I think it's 3, excuse me, 4, video 4. It ends in this clip. Unknown person trying to activate or use the system to put out the fire. Let's continue. We continue. I find it strange. Clip number 5, 1, and 25. Here we are going back. Firefighters. Excuse me, because it's not in order. Arrival of firefighters. Building information. Does anything catch your attention? The firefighters, pay attention to this detail. The firefighters go in with an oxygen tank because there are chemicals that are very dangerous. But, however, the people who come in afterward aren't wearing any kind of protective suit. Does this catch your attention? One in 25, camera 12. More personnel have arrived and are running. We see a firefighter without a helmet. We see another one running. There are some who are not wearing breathing apparatus. The fire might also be occurring elsewhere.
Hey.
Notice that they are moving toward another area that we can't see, which is to the right of the camera. 12.
Hey.
It looks like they're having trouble carrying the hose. Now they're starting to take it to another area. There may be multiple fire sources. Good point. There's still electricity, so the power hasn't been cut. It might just be an emergency light. We see the firefighter carrying a hammer, so they might have to break something. Are they giving instructions? The hose still lacks water pressure. It's strange because the machine, what you're talking about, the mechanical bull, it's not there at the beginning. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm watching the video. I'm not making any judgment yet. Please stop telling me if it's the building next door or if it's the other one. I'm watching. Then I'll say what I think. But first I'm going to watch it. I can't judge without seeing things. All right, now the hose has pressure. An E28, we've already seen this. Let's continue. Clip 6, camera, and E4. All right. This occurs at 1:15 before what we just saw. Firefighters with water. Firefighters with water hydrating the spot we had seen catch fire. And E4.
So,
Yes, there are camera jumps because the clips aren't in order. They're labeled from 1 up to a number I'll give you later. But more things happen here, you know? More things happen here because later we're going to see something else. I don't want to get into something else. Professionally, regardless of how the firefighters perform. I'm not a firefighter. Look, I'm not a firefighter. I understand some things, but here comes the torrent. The torrent is coming. Let's see what they use it for. They use it. Civil. He's taking it to Palais. Okay, I think they're taking out very flammable material. They're moving it away from the source.
now we see why they brought in the torrent.
Right, but the thing is, they're right now. An E17. They're spraying water at the spot where we saw the fire. We've seen that and also how the water's falling behind. But then the machine moves it elsewhere. I think there are different hotspots here. I think there are different hotspots. We're still live, folks, seeing what the heck happened. Venezuela, CIA attack, spies, a drone. sabotage, an accident. It could have already happened. Then we'll confirm if this is the Primazol warehouse. We'll also check this. Let's keep going a little faster. 118.
Sure.
They keep taking products out from there. And E19.
Wait.
Let's go with the next flip 7 now. 10. I think we're looking at this the wrong way. Let's take a second to look at it. Let's see.
All right.
A lot of things are happening here, huh? Let's go with clip 7 E10, sorry. They're not in order, huh? Later, when I can edit, I'll organize them in chronological order. I'm really sorry, we're live. This just popped up. It just happened right now. And we're dealing with this, okay. Follow the fire. They keep working. Only one hose catches my attention. Let's move a bit and E10. The firefighters spray from top to bottom. Because the fire might be spreading above. They are aiming upwards. Watching the whole sequence, right? That's what we're doing, E13. Then we already know what happens after this. We've already seen it. We see over here someone who also passes in front of camera 12. And that's the end of this video. Let's go to video 8 and E5.
Cool.
At UN, 5 in the morning, we were obviously looking at it backward.
We're watching what's happening around here.
A hose that doesn't work.
Oh.
Firefighters positioning to fight the fire. Are going to proceed to pressurize it. We can zoom in if you want. Let's do it. There it is. There it is. We're watching it live, okay? 24,000 people are currently watching what happened inside. Your likes are very important.
Yes.
And E7, then they start to take off. It's trying to bring water to all possible areas where the hotspot is. This will take us to 110, which was the click we had already seen. Before, okay. Clip number 9.
Wait.
12:05 at night.
Chin.
This could be key. A light turns on at the end of the tunnel. The image is dark, huh?
Let's see.
For now, nothing's happening. 12:05.
Cool.
Let's wait a bit longer to see if we notice anything. $12:05 nothing. 12:09 same.
Cool.
No fire is visible at 12:09. Clip number 10.
It's
1 in the morning.
no.
This was the staff present. Without being firefighters, they try to put it out with the retardant, a fire extinguisher. 1 a.m.
No.
One and 4 the firefighters arrive. Okay, clip number 11. 1:30 in the morning.
No.
The firefighters have gone somewhere else with the hose. It could be the neighboring building, huh? Maybe we can see ghosts.
One in 32. Those.
Firefighters seem to be picking up the hose. Yes, they've disconnected the hose. And they're taking it to 135.
Inco.
Clip number 13. 1 in 45.
Inco.
The fire is flaring up again. Goodbye for real now. $135 now. We can really see the fire spreading, huh? Liquids, lots of chemicals, lots of dangerous chemicals. We can see that the structure is giving way. The upper structure is collapsing, parts of the upper structure are falling.
Yo. Many objects are falling.
More and more. Objects keep falling. The ceiling is collapsing, likely due to a fire above. Extremely high temperatures. 1 in 46.
Hey.
These chemicals start to burn. This is already impossible. Wow, explosions, huh? You can already see explosions. The gases have started, and this is already unstoppable. The camera is malfunctioning due to the temperature. At 147 and the camera dies. At 147 the camera goes down. Well, I think there's an issue here. That now we're really going to start now. Let's examine this closely. It's 12:49. The security staff, the security member, at the end of the hallway, is conducting an inspection and senses something is wrong. He notices something burning. He runs out. We see him here again, huh? 12:49.
Muy bien.
We zoom in. Something's not right. It starts to get closer. He sees something over there, and he runs away. Of course, now let's take it easy because we're going to go all out, okay? We're going to go all out. We're going to go all out. We're going to look at a couple of things. We're going to check if this installation is the same. Or not, and that's important too. Let's stop there for a moment. Family, so far, how are you seeing it? We're here doing a kind of pounds per square inch of this story. Let's look at an interesting image. This image we're about to see is the warehouse. The thing is, I don't know if it's a photograph that's actually taken like this, the area where camera 12 is or not. We see the photograph of the warehouse. We see that as soon as I touch the roof, a flame bursts out. It's basically made of fiber, cement, and plastic. Of course, it doesn't match there, because I think the photo was taken from the end of the warehouse towards here. That is, watching the video, the photo was taken from the end of the warehouse towards here. If it matches or if it fits. Some lines if it fits. At least the distance between the tray and the square. It's clear that this is a much older photograph. The maintenance of the ship isn't the same. Let's look at more images to see if it's the same place or not. Let's check it here by looking at all the details. Yes, it's the same based on the type of shelving. Look. The shelving design is quite similar. Let's say yes, it's the same. No, the shelves are the same. Look at its structure. I help by making a zigzag, which is very similar. Anyway, let's take it easy and go back. There are more videos. There are more photographs. Let's look at more photographs. These are already photos published by Primazol. Photo published by Primazol. First moments, when we see that video clip, we keep looking around here. Photos of the firefighters, of the firefighting team. All right, family. It's the same place. It's the same place. I want you to pay attention to this photograph. This photo was supposedly taken from a Motorola phone at 1:05.
Cool.
I want you to look at the end of the ship, that red line with the door that leads to the cargo bay. Now, I want you to look at this archive photo of that place. It makes sense to me. Makes sense. I know some people claim this isn't the same place. There are a lot of people who want to say a lot of things. But it makes sense to me. For now, it makes sense to me. With this image of firefighters, imagine image, mirror, mirror. Okay, more photographs. Then you. Imagine this. As soon as it starts to burn, if it doesn't get put out properly in the end, it's impossible. This is because there are liquids. That's a warehouse that's poorly designed in the way that they're mixing everything together because of a lack of space. With a lack of space, this is 114, 114. Does it match the video also? I'm sorry, but let's be honest here. All right, let's watch the video from the inside. I have the feeling here that the firefighters considered the fire to be out. But the fire reignites. Then it reignites. Because we're going to see it again now. This doesn't mean it wasn't caused on purpose. Well, the issue with the floor lines can be modified. This can be changed. It's an old photo we've seen. Let's keep watching. Let's see. They mention it's an electrical problem. Let's see another photograph. Firefighters breaking the wall to try to access the inside part from where the fire was happening. Well, let's look for it. I think it's a detail. That's key. I think this moment is crucial. Let's see if what we're watching, which we've already seen, is a clip. This is how it looks. This is how the installation looks.
This is how it looks.
It makes sense because those stairs appear, these stairs that we're seeing right on the right side, this thing we're seeing over here, That staircase we're seeing right there. Let's readjust. There we go. I think it's the staircase we're seeing. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. You can see the staircase at the end.
Right.
If we look for the clip, yes, right at the end. The part where it is. Let's zoom in. Right at the end, there's a staircase that goes up. The structure is completely destroyed. Seeing the strong fire. That is, when the structure gives way, it starts at 1:45.
5.
That's when it happens. The structure gives way completely. The firefighters have already left, and this man is trying to put it out with a fire extinguisher. The firefighters are packing up. Well, the firefighters are working. Let's look by the hour. At 1:05, from 1:05 to 1:10, the firefighters are there. At 1:15, the firefighters are still there. They are taking out products. They are trying to get inside. To reach with the water. 1:28, 1.5. Firefighters continue. 1:35. The firefighters don't seem too worried. It seems to me that the firefighters consider the fire to be out. They're not staying to cool things down. There's no audio. Unfortunately, we can see that they're gathering up the equipment. They're collecting equipment from the cargo bay. The truck would be on that side. We're talking about 1:35 here.
5.
1:39.
9.
They bring another fire extinguisher. I don't know why they're bringing that fire extinguisher there when the firefighters have already been working.
2.
Maybe just in case it was necessary.
3.
And 39. Let's see if there's another clip above 1:39. There isn't. I don't think there is. I think the key might be there. Let's see. No. There isn't one. 1:29.
9.
Thesis 3534.
4.
1:20.
3.
And 1:45.
5.
There's a 5-minute gap where we don't know what happens or we don't know what's going on. It's obvious that we don't know, but there's another detail. There's another detail that I already mentioned yesterday, and we put it out there for people who don't know or aren't aware of it. We're going to Fly Radar. We're going to do a playback from the 24th.
4.
We're talking about 1 a.m. We're going to put all available planes. Let's leave this right now. And let's see this. Day 24.
4.
Let's see if we see what we saw the other day.
At this time, at 1:49, the fire is already raging. It's in full swing. The plane we were following the other day, which is this one, is a plane flying overhead. At 12 o'clock, we'll see it. It's around here. At 12:17,
Fíjate.
there's a plane flying right overhead
Clima.
at 1,250 meters altitude. Interestingly, while flying over the warehouse, let's watch it. It goes right over the warehouse. Look, 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 look. Where's the plane coming from? The warehouse is here. You're going to see where the plane is going to come out.
Es que es demasiado.
Too much of a coincidence. I don't know. Look, 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 look.
Fíjate.
Look, look. Where is the plane flying? I know. At 12:18, that plane flies over that warehouse. I don't know. Let's see. That would be thinking too much.
Zar.
It could be an electrical failure. It could be an electrical failure. It could have been a drone. It could have been sabotage. At that time, there were no workers. Only the security guard was present.
Te-
I think it's a coincidence. I mean, 1,000 coincidences can happen. But out of the few planes that fly over Venezuela,
No.
the only plane at that moment
Tú.
was right in the Maracaibo area. It flies right over the warehouse. It seems pretty strange to me, but well,
Stop.
we can't go beyond saying yes, that it flies right over. There's no more evidence.
No hay más evidencia.
Something else in this story doesn't add up for me. It's that Tron says we busted a facility where they loaded the ships with all the substances, and we've caused them a lot of damage. The warehouse is small.
No.
The warehouse is small. It's a small warehouse. It's a warehouse. Which is obvious. That there isn't a laboratory, at least not there. At least you can't see one there. And what about the laboratory issue? But it's a small warehouse. We might have to look for another target.
Vivo.
Well, there's something at the beginning of this video here. In this part, there's something strange happening here. I'm not sure if they edited it or what happened here. But the image there, right? These days, artificial intelligence can do anything to you, right? Look at this part of the video here. It's either badly recorded or badly edited, or the barrels are melting, the liquid is coming out, and in the end, all of this burns. It doesn't just burn, it burns a lot.
Simo.
If you stand there with a fire extinguisher, and he takes the fire extinguisher in his hand, but for what? What you have to do is run away. These are things that aren't normal. If there were firefighters, that person wouldn't be there. The firefighters wouldn't let that man be there. The firefighters would have gone, I think they had already left or something. I don't know. It's a pretty strange action. Pretty strange, just a fire truck. This is very, very, very strange. Very strange. I insist that it's a matter very, very strange. But this is the information we have. It's the information we have right now. Let's check your super chat. Let's look at your comments while we keep watching the footage. I think it's horrifying. What happens now since the heat camera no longer works? The camera is leaving, saying goodbye. The rest are just our exterior images. It's strange. It's strange. AGCD production. Thank you very much. Welcome to Military Strategies, Monica. Excellent military strategy team. They give us the most reliable information. I've said it, Monica. I'm not going to add anything that hasn't happened or doesn't exist. It's just that I don't like this and I like the truth. Hey, there was a fire. Well, there was a fire that might have been set on purpose. Maybe it was set on purpose. I don't know. Wolfie, if Maduro himself did this to distract and confuse information about the attack on the coast, basically they got ahead of Trump. Let's see, we're investigating live. That's right, we're doing a live investigation. I'm not saying it's a lie or that it's true. I'm not saying any of that, please. If someone has problems with common sense, a lack of brain cells, or reasoning ability, this is not their channel. This is a very complex channel to understand things. It's very complex. If oxidants are present, water is the worst option. Yes, Alfredo, that's true, but I doubt they have that in Venezuela. Or that all the vehicles are prepared for the type of retardant that needs to be used. Huh? Material identified, polyethylene terephthalate resin, jade, Chinese. Yes, it's something they sell a lot. The polyethylene terephthalate stuff, the plastic stuff for making packaging, they sell it a lot. Cheto, what seems a bit strange to me is that the firefighters who arrived super quickly ended up so far away and that they left super quickly too. Maybe they're looking for an outside area. Look, let's do one thing. Let's see. Let's try to understand
There.
the whole story. From the images we've seen. The warehouse is this one here. This is the warehouse? No, this one here, below. It's this one here. Let's do something even better to confirm it. Let's go look for an image of Sentinel.
And
Let's see if we can get there. To the scene of the incident. A couple of seconds. Look, this is really difficult. What we're doing is extremely complicated. All right. We have this one that's already here. Look at this one there with the trucks. Then we have to come over here. We keep going this way. Here's fine. Hold on a second. Let's take a look at this. All right, here we are. This one we see there. This is the part. I'm marking it with the pointer. That's the part that burns. So the part that burns, according to Google Earth. With more or better definition, we're talking about the part we're referring to. That is, this is confirmed what we're talking about. A complete destruction of this area right here. The cargo bay, I assume it's in this area right here. That's why the truck, they opened this door, that chamber we're looking at. Let's try to understand this. Let's go look for the video. We search, we look for information, we look for the truth. Here in military strategies, as you already know, always trying to make sense of this. All right, let's see. This is the image with the bay, the entrance to that bay. That opens up. The bay. Okay, that bay. That's at the end. There's a wall. The entrance. Yes.
The entrance. It could be what we see here. That is, let's see. This area here.
It could be interesting. This could be very, very, very interesting. From what I see, it's a shed. There's a wall. Seeing it like this. And that makes more sense to us. Definitely. Let's see. A fire breaks out there. That's clear. Very clear. That matter, I have no doubts about that. I think this is the part. The shed with the wall. Let's see. And that's it. It's exactly what we're seeing now. They store products and other items here. The entrance there could be for Negrito. He says that a drone has been used. I'm still without one, you know? Meanwhile, no, I don't see the drone footage.
All right, asking now.
The CNI? The CIA carried out a drone strike earlier this month against a port facility along the coast. Venezuela, the first known United States strike inside the country. Can we start now? If we follow CNN, their mega sources, which Donald Trump always says are fake news. Can we rule this out, this? It would be work. I ask you for 24 hours so I can start working on finding another one now. Another event that happened on the coast. It could have happened, but for now, look, I'm not saying it was this or not, or maybe it was also this. At the same time, it could also be another option. Anything is possible. What I do say is that if it's true, there has been a fire. It seems that the firefighters haven't been able to control it or thought it was extinguished. Later, it flared up again. It could be. It doesn't add up because there wasn't enough time for them to pack up the hoses and leave. I don't know. Maybe they've already given up on the situation. I don't know. Victoria, thank you so much for those 20 memberships. Thank you, Andrea, for those 50 memberships. Thank you so much, and thank you for your comments.
Yes.
And your support for the channel. Thank you so much, really, Victoria. Our strategies were created with the whole community in mind from the start. It could be a short circuit. I thought they were going to put it out right away, but just in case, they called the firefighters. Yes, it was probably going to be like that, having the schedule when the plane flies overhead. We've already seen it. The issue with the plane has already been seen. The pallets that were being moved are missing. The plastic underneath where the camera was, they probably moved those too. Daniel, there's a gap of 5, 6, 7 minutes there where we don't know what happens, what occurs. The company hasn't released this, or we lack the full video of that section. Unfortunately. And they used drones.
Yes.
Would they be small drones? Or could these new United States designed drones, like the Sahit type, have been used for attack? They could have done it. But if it's a CIA operation, I would probably rule out a Navy operation or launching from the sea. It could be an internal operation with some drone that actually caused an attack like this. I'm not sure I need 24 hours. I think we need 24 hours after everything we've seen. After everything we've, checked throughout this whole story. It seems to me that we need a lot more information. For example, if the story is about attacking a port, for instance. We're going to go to an area that's hot, very hot. Orinoco area, the area we see here, also the Isla Margarita area, the area of this entire Gulf that we see here. Have they tried to attack this with an F-35 using a guided bomb unit? 39 to destroy a small port where narco-terrorist boats are launched? Is that enough? Bring a drone, a Reaper, close to that area? Is there anti-air defense? There was a little more. Weird or less, right? I mean, there's a much better platform to carry out that kind of mission. To strike without being seen. Practically, I don't know why they would use a drone. Or what kind of drone. Also, let's see what kind of drone. That would also be good information to have. If this starts to be revealed, if this starts to generate a lot of interest, they'll probably declassify it. Declassify it? It could probably happen. It could happen. So, well, that's where we are. Sorry, Reiko, I can't put up that super chat you sent, but thank you very much for your comment. Thank you for your contribution. So thank you very much. Yes, I would bet that it was probably somewhere else. Because he's talking about places where things are loaded onto boats. Could we go take a look? I've already done a little research before starting the program. But I'm not yet at 100% capacity. But look, I'm going to let it go because if later it is, but I'm going to let it go. Maybe. I'm probably wrong. I'm always wrong. You already know that. I'm messing up every day. Okay, let's do one thing. I'm going to show you. One. A little feeling that I have. Durantra notes water, boats, and loading site. I would begin searching like this. Which area is where these kinds of substances are produced, where they are worked on, where they are handled? Catatumbo area. Is there any suspicious event on that date? Did Donald Trump mention the Catatumbo area? Yes, there is. I have seen it. Day 24.
4.
December 24, 2025.
5.
The 25th.
Go.
Let's see if it loads. It worked for me before. Don't make me look like a liar. Or does something happen here on those dates? Around those dates, we're going to see it now. In the Catatumbo River area, there are here a place that on the 22nd, there is a fire. Let's look at it from a different point, a different place. Day 22. Not 24-22. But I insist, for me, this is a very early investigation right now. I'm sharing things I probably shouldn't. But it's very early. This is the Catatumbo River area. Here, there's an area that you can clearly see can be used for loading boats. You can see there's an area in this place. That's interesting. It's usually far from the satellites. There are very few images of this. This area here. Now what we should go look for is Sentinel area. If this is here, it's going to be very difficult, very complicated to carry it out. It's a little hunch. It doesn't mean I'm certain. I insist on that. It's a part of the investigation that I'm already conducting to try to find an alternative place. A place that is feasible to what Donald Trump has revealed. Is that the problem? Main problem of what we're seeing here? The mapping satellite rarely passes by there. It last passed on October 31st. So I don't have an image to see if there's been any explosion. If something has happened, that could give us an indication that this facility here could be related if there has been one, because a fire was detected by satellite by National Aeronautics and Space Administration on the 22nd. That much we do know, but I can't confirm that. We need time to investigate. We can't do everything. Family comes first. Thank you very much for being live with us. I really hope you enjoyed this show. I'm exhausted. Let's see what happens. I keep saying patience, calm with composure, seriousness. Please, seriousness with this topic. Something happened. If Trump said it, there's been an attack or covert operation. Now we have to start putting the pieces of the puzzle together until we have the place, but it could have been what we just saw, a sabotage operation. We don't know. I hope you enjoyed the show, family. If so, please leave your likes and your comments. See you in the next show here on Military Strategies.